Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday edition of March's Nutrition Month webinar. My name is Jackie, and I'm a health promotion specialist here in Kingston, and I am joined with Sharon Ash, who is a fellow health promotion specialist here in Kingston, and she will be here providing some support, and most importantly, she will be facilitating the live prize draw at the end of the session for the ice cream maker through Pampered Chef. So I'll get into more details about that in a quick second. But I wanted to welcome everybody to the webinar this morning. Feel free to say good morning, hello in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And I also have a poll that is up there as well. So if you want to click on the poll section at the top right of your screen, we just want to see who's joining us today. So we want to know if you're a CAF member, veteran, family member, or civilian, either D&D or NPF staff. So I invite you to complete the poll as you come in this morning. That would be wonderful. And I'm really excited to be here today to celebrate Dietitians Day. But it's not only Dietitians Day, it's also St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Sharon's special day, as you can see. So we're really excited to be here to discuss the role that dietitians have in helping Canadians find a healthy eating pattern that works best for them. And we are really lucky today to have 6 dietitians from across Canada speaking to us on this year's Nutrition Month theme, as well as Canada's Food Guide and how you can apply the food guide to healthy eating styles, as well as we'll have the dietitians speak to some common misconceptions around healthy eating as well. So before we get started, again, if you're just joining us, please I invite you to complete the poll there on the right-hand side and say hello. But I would like to just go over a few quick points. This webinar is property of D&D, so we ask that no reproduction or retransmission of the slides happen, so that's strictly forbidden. And we always ask for parental discretion during our webinars as well, because some of our webinars may have sensitive content, but today we're talking about nutrition and food, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And then lastly, this webinar is being recorded. So it will be available on cafconnection.ca for viewing later on. And we do encourage active participation. So I will be using the chat a little bit as well as the poll function. The recording does not show the chat. So anything that happens in the chat today will not be in the recording. Okay, I won't be using the microphone or camera function today. And just on another note, the dietitians are not here with us live today. I will be incorporating some video clips that they have sent to me to provide you with some really valuable information and advice around nutrition and food and the profession of registered dietitians. So let's get started. Woohoo! Good morning, everyone. Okay, so quickly, health promotion overview in the CAF. So if you're new to health promotion, our primary role is to help CAF members and their families take control over their health and well-being, to maintain that operational readiness and have that high quality of life. So we speak to education and awareness in 4 main areas of health promotion that you can see on the slide there. And we're really excited to announce that we're back in the classroom. So we are offering in-person programming now, and you can see on our website, which I'm going to share with you right now, you can get more details on our schedule, on location of all of these programs that we're now offering. And I'm happy to say that every single one of our social wellness programs are actually being delivered in person over the next few months. So I will share that link with you if you'd like to click on it, put it to your favorites so you have quick access to our programming details and registration. Okay. So The big prize is the ice cream maker. So if you are interested at the end of this session, Sharon's facilitating the live draw. Heather Hall, we're really happy to have partnered with her this Nutrition Month. She's generously donated these Pampered Chef prizes for our Wellness Wednesday webinars. If you are interested in winning at the end of this session, we invite you to please put your name in the chat box, and Sharon will be collecting these names. Now we're looking in terms of eligibility. If you are a CAF member, Reg Reserve retired, and D&D civilian staff, you are eligible to win. Unfortunately, previous winners as well as NPF staff are not eligible to win the ice cream maker. So for those who are eligible, please put your name in the chat. Sharon's collecting them, and then we'll do the draw at the end of the session.
Jackie,
Sharon,
I have a overview of the ice cream maker as well. Can I read it out?
Okay, awesome. Let's hear it.
Our compact ice cream maker lets you create your favorite frozen treats anytime you want. You can use fresh, natural ingredients to mix up smooth, custom flavored ice cream, custards, frozen yogurt, sorbets, sherbet, and even frozen drinks.
Ooh,
yeah. You'll taste the quality homemade ice cream is smoother, richer, creamier, and less expensive. Just push a button to set the timer, add your ingredients, and you'll have frozen treats in 45 minutes. So yes.
Amazing.
Woo! I see Sarah's super excited about it as well. So good luck, everyone. Put your name in there, and I will be back at the end to see who our lucky winner is.
Amazing. Thanks, Sharon. That was great. That sounds awesome. So put your name in the chat if you're interested. And just a quick reminder about our free virtual cooking classes that happen on Fridays at 2 with a local dietitian. You can go to our website to get more information on contact info and registration for that. And of course, our health promotion online Pampered Chef Party. The more you shop, the bigger that jackpot prize gets for a lucky winner at the end of March. And I'm going to invite Sharon to put the online party link in our chat when she gets a chance, so you have quick access to that as well. So happy Dietitians Day. So today we're celebrating dietitians as they empower their patients, clients, and communities to embrace food, to understand it, and of course, most importantly, to enjoy it. So we're celebrating a profession that takes the complex science of nutrition and translates it into a language that we can all understand and to support healthy living for all Canadians. So we're going to start off by going to the polls. We're going to dive in a little bit to the history of dietetics in Canada. So I'm going to bring up a poll question for you. Just give me one sec here. And I would like to know what you think here. The first dietitian in Canada to be employed by the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto was in the year 1867, 1905, 1908, or 1942. What do you think? Give you a few seconds to answer the poll. So most people have answered so far. Awesome. So the answer is, dun, 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 according to the Canadian Encyclopedia, 1908 was the first qualified dietitian that was appointed to the staff of the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto. So with the advancements in chemistry in the early 19th century, that's when dietetics progressed. And the main focus of dietetics around that time was trying to do research on vitamin deficiency diseases, such as scurvy, which was like during the 16th to 18th century, it was quite a prevalent disease, which took the lives of many sailors, more so than, battle or other diseases. So it was found that citrus fruits, and then later came to vitamin C came to life as treatment for that specific disease. So good job, everyone. And it's really exciting too, because it's over 100 years later and we're celebrating this profession in Canada. And the thing is too, is that nutrition is still a very young science. It's still evolving. There's still lots of research and studies coming out, and there's a lot of combating theories as well, which can be quite confusing for the general public. So that's why dietitians are there to help combat that confusion, set us straight when it comes to information around nutrition and food. So Nutrition Month. Thanks, Sharon, for sharing the link there. So Nutrition Month, according to Dietitians of Canada, it's been around for over 30 years. And it actually just started out as Nutrition Week in the late 1970s with a small group of community dietitians. And now it's expanded into a whole month. And the purpose of Nutrition Month is to provide awareness to Canadians around the benefits of healthy eating, and of course identifying dietitians as the main go-to, the credible source for food and nutrition information. So each year, Dietitians of Canada establishes a theme for Nutrition Month. And this year's theme is Good for You. Dietitians help you find your healthy. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to ask our dietitians, how does this Nutrition Month theme resonate with you?
This year's Nutrition Month theme is Good for You. Dietitians help you find your healthy. This theme resonates with me because it recognizes that healthy eating can look different for everyone and emphasizes the important role that dietitians play in helping us all figure out what healthy eating looks like for them. Dietitians go to school to study nutrition for 4 years. They complete a 1-year intensive internship. Many of us also continue on to complete our master's degree and some even PhDs. We're well educated and are the experts in healthy eating. We understand the science of nutrition, as well as the art of personalizing our approach to meet the unique needs of each person. We know that healthy eating is very complex and can be impacted by a person's health, food preferences, culture, food traditions, and more.
I'm a dietitian who works specifically in brain injury. I've had multiple concussions myself, and I still live with issues. This month's nutrition theme of healthy eating looks different for everyone is super appropriate in brain injury because each brain injury affects each person differently. In my opinion, the current nutrition research and popular nutrition advice in brain injury is limited and biased. It totally doesn't consider the day-to-day challenges people with brain injury have, like super low appetite, digestive problems, sensory and cognitive issues that can make meal planning and prepping almost impossible. And I'm seeing more and more issues with disordered eating. If you've seen one brain injury, you've seen one brain injury. And eating healthy truly does look different for everyone.
One of the themes of Nutrition Month this year is cultural diversity, and this is an important theme for me as a second-generation Chinese Canadian, meaning that my parents immigrated to Canada from Hong Kong and that I was born in Canada. I actually used to shun Chinese food as a kid, thinking that it was less superior and less nutritious than Canadian foods such as kale or quinoa. And nowadays, I know that that's not the case. In fact, you can't really discuss nutrition without talking about cultural food values, cultural traditions, and beliefs. You can't talk about one without the other. And as a dietitian now, my main goal is to empower clients to understand the nutrition of their own cultural foods, how to make healthy meals out of them, and how to use that in order to help reach their health goals.
Okay, So thank you to Jasmine, Victoria, and Crystal for that. And it was really interesting to listen to because it really speaks to one's own personal experiences, circumstances, and culture, and how those specifically influence one's healthy eating pattern. Let's go to the polls again. So, why do you think an individual would meet with a dietitian? Give me 1 sec here to bring up the poll. Would it be A, pregnancy and breastfeeding, diabetes, picky eaters, both A and B, or all of the above? What are your thoughts for that one? See, the majority of you are saying all of the above. Awesome. So the answer is all of the above. However, if you did choose A, B, or C, you're also correct, because a dietitian would be a great person to go to for any of those situations. And according to unlockfood.ca, there are over 10,000 dietitians in Canada right now, and more than half work in hospitals where they assess and provide nutrition care for patients who have cancer, kidney disease, maybe suffering from malnutrition, as well as many other health conditions and concerns. But the role of dietitians have really expanded as well. So many dietitians work in healthcare settings, such as long-term care homes, community health centers, health and wellness clinics, or they may have their own private practice. You can also find dietitians working in public health, in government positions, education, as well as in research. And there's also roles for dietitians in the pharmaceutical and food industry, as well as areas like sports nutrition and within the media. So dietitians are everywhere. And if you are trying to manage a certain health condition, such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, a dietitian is a credible source who can help provide you and guide you with specific lifestyle changes to help better manage some of those conditions. And they really speak to your specific needs as well to make sure you're getting safe and effective care. If you have digestive issues like irritable bowel or acid reflux, as well as picky eaters. So if you are a parent, it can be very stressful at meal times if your children are not willing to try new foods and you're concerned about their nutritional intake. You can work with a dietitian who can help guide you and provide you with ideas and tips and strategies to help incorporate new foods into your child's diet. So it's just so vast, the areas that dietitians can help you with when it comes to nutrition and food. Now, when we talk about dietitians and nutritionists, is there a difference? So I'm going to put up another poll for you, and I'm going to invite you to let me know, what do you think? Is there a difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? Yes or no? Okay, so seems like most of you are saying yes, and you're pretty much correct. And unlockfood.ca actually gave a good analogy when I was looking at it the other day, and it said you wouldn't ask a celebrity to help you build a safe bridge. You would ask a professional engineer to do that. So when it comes to nutrition advice, you want to have the same way, like train of thinking. You want to go to a dietitian for the best individual advice for you. The title dietitian is a protected title in Canada. And when it comes to dietitians, they are trained and they are a regulated health profession. Nutritionist is actually a protected title in a few provinces in Canada, such as Alberta, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and PEI. However, in Ontario, it is not a protected title. So anyone can call themselves a nutritionist in Canada, or in Ontario, and they may not have the credentials, the standards, and the criteria that dietitians have. So you want to be mindful of that. So if you are looking to speak to a qualified nutrition professional, you want to look for RD, so registered dietitian at the end of their name, or PDT, professional dietitian, or in French, it's DTP. Or you can simply ask, are you a registered dietitian? And there are many people who do claim to be nutrition experts and will offer nutrition advice without the adequate training. So there are some titles like registered holistic nutritionist or certified nutritional practitioner, which aren't the same as dietitian. Those titles are not regulated health professionals. So dietitians are the only nutrition professionals regulated by the law. So good job, everybody, on that. And another thing I want to just have a quick chat about, so I invite you in the chat box to let me know, what are some common myths around healthy eating? Or what have you heard? What have you perhaps read in an article or magazine or watched on the news when it comes to food and nutrition and what you should be eating to eat well? It's too expensive. Sarah, myth that fat is bad for health. Yeah, carbs are bad for you. That's a big one. You can bring your ideas to the chat as you can keep going in the chat. What I did here was try to provide a visual of some of those common, diets, food items, and theories out there when it comes to what you should eat to be healthy. So I tried to capture all of that. So if you're trying to adopt some of these healthy eating strategies or want to implement some of these changes that you see here, intermittent fasting, low carb, high fat, vegan, eliminating sugar or reducing sugar, your best bet is to speak to a dietitian, because you want to be mindful that, especially if you are perhaps have a certain health condition or you're on medications, a dietitian can help guide you and they can help monitor while you're making some of these changes. So they can speak to what will probably work best for you. So what we're going to do now is ask our dietitian, when it comes to common misconceptions about healthy eating, what are their thoughts on that?
What are some common misconceptions about healthy eating? I'd say the biggest misconception is that people think healthy eating looks the same for everyone. Every person has their own culture and traditions, preferences, and nutritional needs. The reality is that healthy eating looks different for everyone. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to healthy eating. Check out nutritionmonth2021.ca to find your healthy.
Now, a common misconception about healthy eating is that healthy eating equals clean eating. Now, clean eating is actually a marketing term and not really a scientific nutrition term. It usually means having to eliminate all types of foods that are deemed less nutritious, for example, cookies, chips, and sweets. Now, clean eating can often lead to disordered eating habits, for example, a preoccupation with food, food guilt, or exercising to make up for eating. And this can lead to a poor relationship with food as well as yourself. Now, on the other hand, healthy eating should include all types of foods you enjoy, both nutritious and less nutritious. And whether or not you are trying to just get healthy or manage a chronic disease such as diabetes, a healthy balance can be achieved, and you can definitely get help from a dietitian to find that moderation that fits your lifestyle.
What does healthy eating really mean? Healthy eating is not just about the way that the food is presented on your plate or about having a hot, prepared meal for every lunch at the office, although both are aspects of Canada's food guide, including preparing meals at home and cooking more often. Healthy eating, of course, is individual for all of us. What is healthy for me may not be healthy for you. This is why Canada's Food Guide is designed to be flexible and relevant to each and every one of us. Healthy eating is a pattern that supports your best physical, mental, and emotional health. It includes having a positive relationship with food, enjoying your food, and feeling comfortable and satisfied after eating without feeling any guilt or shame. Healthy eating can simply be filling half of your plate with fruits and vegetables, a quarter with grain, and a quarter with protein, or alternatively, these portions can be combined into making a soup, a stew, a casserole, or a sandwich. Finally, and most importantly, healthy eating is all about balance. We nourish our bodies by consuming nutrient-dense foods, providing us with essential vitamins and minerals that contribute to maintaining body functions, also while allowing for treats and sweets, even if they are higher in calories, fats, or added sugars. The key is eating them in moderation and balancing them with healthier foods the majority of the time.
So you hear here, folks, dietitians have allowed treats to be part of a healthy diet. And that is so huge. Food is one of life's greatest pleasures. So you want to make sure that you're enjoying your food. Some key words that came out of the message from Victoria, Jasmine, and Nicole too are balance, moderation. There's no one size fits all approach. The clean eating term, which I feel like 10 years ago, that was really, really big. It's still around today, but clean eating really speaks to that restriction of foods. And that's what you want to try to stay away from, because it can lead to a number of other, negative, perhaps, thought patterns and associations with food. Okay, so thanks for that. And Sarah, to answer your question about do we have access to dietitians in the CAF? Yes, you do. And I'm going to talk about that and the specifics about that in just a few minutes. So thank you for that question. That's an excellent question. So another poll question for everyone. Let's talk about Canada's Food Guide quickly. And I'm just going to test your knowledge. We're going to go a bit into the history around Canada's Food Guide. What year do you think Canada's first food guide was published? 1942, 1963, 1967, or my birth year, 1978? Okay, so it looks like the majority of you think the 60s brought the food guide to life in Canada. You're pretty close, but the correct answer is actually 1942. So 1942, July 1942 is when Canada's official food rules came out. And it identified 6 food groups. And it really acknowledged that wartime rationing while trying to prevent nutritional deficiencies and to improve the overall health of Canadians. It identified a variety of foods as those health protective foods. Since 1942, and now we're in, well, the new food guide that was released a couple of years ago in 2019, getting to this point, to the current food guide, it's changed quite a bit, not only in the look of the food guide, but also the messaging of the food guide. So this is our current food guide, and I'm not going to go too much into detail about the food guide because I'm going to let our dietitians speak to how Canada's current food guide can be applied to those different styles of eating.
Canada's Food Guide allows for flexibility for any style of eating. The key recommendation is to fill your plate with half fruit and vegetables, a quarter whole grains, and a quarter protein foods. The guide recommends a wide variety of healthy food within these categories and allows for individual interpretation of what foods to include on your plate. It emphasizes the importance of choosing foods that you enjoy and acknowledges that there are many different ways to make healthy choices. The food in the food guide picture are just suggestions. Your plate doesn't have to be set up in the sections like the food guide image either. There's flexibility to create mixed meals like soups, stews, or pastas, and still follow the recommended ratios of food types. You may also notice that there are no portion size recommendations provided in the new food guide. It focuses on proportions rather than portions, and your portion sizes should be based on how much food satisfies your hunger. The proportion recommendations can apply however the food is served and however much food you are eating. Whatever your eating style, the food guide is designed to help you make healthier food choices while still listening to your body and adapting your diet to meet your personal needs and preferences.
I think that Canada's food guide is very applicable to different styles of eating, especially this newest version, as it's a very flexible guide, especially compared to past versions. So every person has their own traditions, preferences, and nutritional needs, and I think all of which can fit within this current food guide. So for example, those who might follow more of a vegetarian or vegan style diet, there's many different plant-based proteins recognized in the protein foods category of the food guide. So these include things that are soy-based like tofu and tempeh, legumes, nuts, and seeds. As well, the whole grains food category allows for recognition of more multicultural grains, so things like bulgur and farro. The fruits and vegetable category can be modified based on budget or maybe what might be available at certain times of the year. So for example, things like fresh and canned fruits and vegetables with no salt or sugar added still count as a serving. So it doesn't always have to just be fresh options because sometimes those might not be affordable or even available for some. There's so many different foods that fit into each of the 3 food groups in Canada's Food Guide that you can pick and choose what you like and or what might fit within your specific dietary pattern or nutrition recommendations, and you can make many different balanced meals and snacks.
How can Canada's food guide be applied to different styles of eating? Healthy eating looks different to everyone, and learning how to adjust recipes to meet your needs is an important skill. It can help you eat in a way that works for you. For example, you might want to adjust recipes for health, dietary restrictions, to reflect your culture, to lower cost, or to meet your family's needs. For more information, search Canada's Food Guide, Adjusting Recipes to Meet Your Needs.
So thank you to Nicole, Madison, and Paige for that. Canada's Food Guide, I highly encourage everyone to check it out. I've shared the link to the webpage. It's pretty interactive. It's got videos, resources, several fact sheets that you can use to apply to your own eating pattern. And I think some key messages from our dietitians there was that the current food guide is very flexible and it allows for so much variety. And it's such a great practical tool that you can utilize to take all of that science and around nutrition and food and action it using some guidance from the food guide. So a really valuable resource for sure. Now, Sarah, so I had this in at the end to as a question just to see how many CAF members knew that you actually had access to a registered dietitian. So it is actually true. I won't put the poll up because we've touched on it earlier. So CAF members actually do have access to 5 sessions with a registered dietitian when you're referred by your MO or physician. So, and I see Krista, thank you, provided some information on there. With SIFMAP as well. So you can connect with SIFMAP where they can send out a referral to a local dietitian as well. So this is wonderful. And I don't know if it's very well known throughout the CAF community, but reach out to your MO to get a referral if you're interested in speaking to a dietitian. But any specific food and nutrition related concern or change you want to make. So let's ask our dietitians one last question before we finish off today. If you could tell Canadians one thing about healthy eating this Nutrition Month, what would it be?
One message I'd like to get out there this Nutrition Month is that nutrition is complex. And that's why there's a whole profession dedicated to it. So many people come to me saying, I try to do the research, but I just can't figure it out. One thing says to eat this food, and another thing says not to eat that food. And why can't I just do it? I'm having such a hard time making the changes. Why can't I just stick to that plan? Everyone's nutrition needs are different. It's hard to sift through all the information, and the way our society and systems are set up can make nutrition inaccessible to a lot of people. Know that if you are struggling with nutrition, you are not alone, and there is an entire profession here dedicated to helping you with it.
If I could tell Canadians one thing about healthy eating this Nutrition Month, it would be to listen to your body and find what works best for you. As indicated by this year's Nutrition Month theme, what is good for one person may not be good for another. Healthy eating is really not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's more important to consider your own personal situation, nutritional needs, health concerns, and culture when figuring out what healthy eating looks like to you. Don't let fad diets, social media influencers, and celebrities lead you to believe that restriction is the only way to healthy eating. Instead, reflect on what foods make you feel good and support your health, and listen to your body telling you what it needs. And of course, see a registered dietitian for the best personalized nutrition advice if you need some guidance.
If I could tell Canadians one thing about healthy eating this Nutrition Month, it would be to ditch all those popular trendy diets and find out what's going to work best for you. So getting in the kitchen and exploring some new recipes, so whether they be family or cultural recipes passed down from relatives, or maybe even just opening that new cookbook that's been sitting on your shelf for years. It really doesn't have to take a long time to make a balanced and nutritious meal. It's just really those basic food skills that are the most important. So especially if you have young kids, getting them involved, the earlier that they can learn these skills, the better. So more and more studies are showing the negative effects of processed and packaged foods on our health. So let's try to combat that by getting back in the kitchen and preparing more foods ourselves. So the Cookspiration website actually has some really great recipes featured this month for Nutrition Month that can help you get started.
Okay, so thank you to Paige, Madison, and Crystal for providing some perspective around that. And some key messages I definitely heard was that nutrition is very complex. Listening to your body is very key when it comes to making food choices, as well as ensuring that you choose foods that make you feel good as well. And of course, getting back in the kitchen. So doing a lot more cooking, which has unfortunately become a lost skill these days. So thank you so much to our dietitians for your time in contributing to this webinar. It was really great to hear your perspective, your guidance, and I think it definitely helps us better understand how we can apply some of these principles to our own unique style of eating. So thank you so much. Happy Dietitians Day. And I'd also like to do a shout out to Rachel Askett, who helped me edit the video. So thanks so much, Rachel, for doing that to make it flow. So I know you're all probably waiting for who the winner is of the ice cream maker. So Sharon, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
Oh man, I'm totally buying one of these. I was looking up recipes and I'm like, oh, you can make it with coconut milk, so I can make some vegan recipes as well. Okay, so we have, going into the pot, Tanya, Sarah, Martin. So get your lucky Irish on. Think real hard about winning. I'm going to put it up here. And we have Tanya.
Woo! Congratulations.
Congratulations, Tanya. You have won the ice cream maker. Congrats for that. And I have your information here. I will be emailing you to set up how we can connect. And also for next week, can I go and just say what we have for next week?
Absolutely.
All right. Joining us next week for breakfast grab and go that are good for you. And so Chris will have some quick tips and tricks. And we also, of course, have the chance to win from Pampered Chef next week are the stainless steel mixing bowls.
Woo! I provided the link there. If you want to register, you can register right now on the Nutrition Month page at PSP Kingston. So I've provided the direct link for everyone right there. And I would again like to thank you, Sharon, for joining me this morning. Thank you again to our dietitians, and thank you to all of you for taking the time this morning to be with us to celebrate Dietitians Day and St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. And if you have any questions, you can connect with us at Health Promotion Kingston at cfmws.com. And don't forget to follow us as well at PSP Kingston. So have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks, Sharon. Bye.
Bye.